Sure. And like I said, you know, this is a matchmaker dump. You got a U.S. sus on each side, and then a bunch of battleships, and that poor Des Moines. He's the only cruiser in the game.
Yep.
Oh no!
Quick, somebody slap AP into his broadside. Take out that radar, quick.
Oh, nice! Congratulations, Admiral Fox, on the giveaway.
As a DD main, I have to say that is my highest priority target in this match.
The Des Moines.
Yeah.
I mean,
anytime I can, I'll take out the radars as fast as possible. Even though if there's no DDs and they can't do anything, they're always going to be my priority target.
Okay. Personally,
I
I wouldn't look at the Des Moines as a priority target just because it's straight battleships plus carrier. At this point, the only thing that Des Moines brings to the table is going to be its possible defensive fire. And that's really about it. It can radar peek around islands, perhaps. And if it's a very good Des Moines, it could be a threat because it'll stay behind islands and farm you and everybody else, right? Looking at the matchmaking, because it's a carrier battle, one thing I would say is, just like I was talking about the last game, you might want to think about sticking with at least one other battleship so that you can combine your anti-air to try to stave off the Sus's air strikes.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which one had the best anti-air, but I think all these are pretty bad.
Out of this, probably the Republic or the Conqueror have the best anti-air, but the problem is they're so far away that by the time you get over there, you would encourage your Kurfürst and FDG to come with you and essentially completely abandon that flank. And as you know from the kid, we don't abandon the flank, do we, sir?
Do not abandon the flag.
True, Dutch. Carriers do prevent the Des Moines from sitting still. Des Moines already got chunked because he got detected out in the middle of everybody. So that's interesting. If I'm the Des Moines in this game, I'm moving to the back of the grouping. And I'm trying to make my way to an island that'll get me safe. Now, your ship, of course, the Kremlin, very strong as a bow-in battleship that can just kind of sit and hold an area. It's just the carriers kind of make it more difficult for you to do that.
Yeah, my main thing was I saw the Yamato was by himself on A. I wanted to see if he was gonna move up for A, and that was kind of like my thought process. Like, I need to make sure I know where that Yamato is going.
Yes, you also need to watch the minimap carefully so that you make sure your flanks are not exposed. Right now, your flank is, I mean, you're behind the island, but you could be ultra long ranged from maybe the Kurfürst or Schlieffen. So, at this point, I might actually slow down and buddy up to the island and wait for the FDG and Kurfürst behind you to get a little bit, closer to you.
But I smelled blood in the water.
You wanted the Des Moines, didn't you?
Very much.
Des Moines be tasty.
Well, he got detected early, got shot at early, and now he beached and he's backing up. And he's looking right at you and saying, shit. Oh. Now here's the problem. Now what do you do? Because if the Yamato has moved towards the 1-2 line, you're stuck.
Oh yeah.
So you're not detected. I would actually use this opportunity to turn in, head north, and get behind the FDG, and not get spotted. That being said, you shot, so there goes that idea.
And the Yamato showed himself finally.
Right at the moment that you shot. Yes, that always happens. But you were smart. You recognized the threat. You turned into that threat. But the problem is, let me break the camera for a second. The problem is, threat. I mean, you got 3 battleships that you're now giving your side to. 4. So you got to be. I mean, they're most likely going to be focusing the Repub because the Repub is quite low now. So there's that. Yamato firing at you again, but now you're going... Why are you doing this? Oh god, you got lucky there.
Well, I recognize that I gave 4 people my side instead of 1, so
now you're going to give 1. Okay. So recognizing that is good. The concern, though, is up until just now when the Columbo shot you, only 1 person was targeting you that you knew of. And of course, that's the one that you gave side to just now. So, ouch! Right there. Right there is it. Right there is it.
there's the Yamato.
Yep. So, back it up. What you would have been better off doing is, instead of cutting in like you did, is cut out. So head westward, so that you can get to the Yamato side and then cheek the hell out of them. And at that point, you are kiting away from the main enemy battleship push at the same time.
Yeah, at this point, I just wanted to break to get my guns turned.
Nope, that's a smart idea to slow down there. I like it a lot. And now the sus is saying to focus you, but you've got other plans for this Yamato. You got very lucky that Yamato played that so poorly. He saw what he did to you, and he's like, you know what? I'll just do the same thing. I mean, you know, he can't hit me back, right?
I think he saw that first settle though, and he thought I would be dead.
Mm-hmm. He was excited for the next salvo, and he was going to do everything he could to make sure all of his guns could hit you. And now you have managed to find yourself on the flank of all these battleships that are pushing through sea, which is good. What's bad, though, is that you are horribly overexposed right now.
Yeah. At this point, I didn't even know what was priority target. The only thing I knew is if I can get cheeky shots on that Kremlin before he turns ball into me, I was going to take all those shots.
Yes. Now, I like how your carrier is putting planes over you. That's good.
Yep.
He kind of put them a little bit wrong, but hey, you know what? He gets props for trying, right? And I like that you're backing up now. This is smart. Let your FDG, who is healthier than you right now, take a lead. Kremlin is turning, by the way. You didn't notice it, but he was turning to show you a little bit more side. So you actually...
I just saw the low HP.
You saw the low HP curve first, you went for him instead. Nice hit. I probably would have gone for the Kremlin, but that's okay. The whole point is that those guys are turning away and kiting instead of charging you, which is what you want. Oh, somebody smacked the Kremlin.
Yeah, plus the GK was like apparently people's priority target, so I'm like, I might as well help finish him off, get some guns out of this table.
Absolutely. At this point, I would agree with that shot. At 8K, you absolutely want to try to take him out. Of course, you missed, but hey, whatever. It's the thought that counts, right? But look at the battleships now. Now, Kurfürst is in front of you. FDG is in front of you from the other side, and the Kurfürst to the south is finally starting to get to the point where they're drawing a line in the map. And you're right behind that line, which is what you want to be doing right now based on your health. Now, there's a kill. I also saw that you've got Kuznetsov on this. So, what you want to do in that situation is actually get yourself to the point where he procs, and then you pop a heal at the same time that he procs, because then you get double heal. Makes it really hard for you to go down.
Yeah, I think I had one more heal. That's why I was using them right now.
Yeah, you do.
I usually wait on my last one. If my last one I can do that, I usually do it.
Absolutely, very smart. See, now the FDG took those torpedoes instead of you because he was closer. A lot of players, especially in randoms, will go for the closer target, not necessarily the weaker target like you were talking about earlier. So.
Yep, I would have definitely gone for me if I was that.
Absolutely. Kremlin once again showing side.
Because if he hits me and like, it's that blood in the water, right? You make me low, everybody's gonna want to focus me and get me out.
Mm-hmm. Well, the sus even said in all chat, "Focus the Kremlin." So he wanted his team to focus you, but because you stopped and you bowed in, they really couldn't do anything. This is the problem with battleships that all sail in the same direction in lemming terrain, because you can just angle to one. Now, I kind of disagree with this decision to come out here. There's really not much of a need to do it other than the fact that your teammates are going to do it anyways and they're going to get themselves blowed up, so you might as well come with them. I mean, that's the only, in my opinion, the only kind of train of thought to have right there.
Yeah, I think at this point, I just figured I could definitely one-shot that Sleefen. I thought I could, but his angle was better than that.
You got 4 bounces. I think you hit the turrets.
Yeah.
And then another 2. You probably hit the turrets. So
yeah,
on a Sleefen,
I could get him quick enough.
On the Sleefen, you probably would have been better off aiming farther forward to try to punch through the bow armor, because I think it's only 32, or is it lower?
I know it's soft. So.
Yeah. Duckman, probably
That's
not going to be doing
went.
dirty water today, because I've got the energy water instead, and, you know, I kind of want my heart to survive. Sorry, Draco, you were saying?
No, and at this point, I have to start going towards the CV because that's where the FTG is going. So I'm like, okay, 2 people, we can try to AA this.
Yep, and fortunately for you, that FTG is lower health, so he's going to focus on that guy instead.
Yep.
Good reason to not do energy drinks. Well, I figured I'd try them out because, you know, hey, I got some. So let's see what they're like. I'm about to get to the point where I'm going to be doing great because I'm almost out of the water. Gotta say, premium time tastes pretty good.
Just checking the HP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, he's going to take 1 more. The next one's mine.
Yep, and you definitely want to be careful not to show broadside until obviously you're engaged by these torpedo bombers. And at that point, he's too busy looking at the Conqueror anyways, so that's good. And that's it. All right, well, nice battle. Let's take a look at the replay render of that battle. Let me turn off my camera for a little bit here so we can see more of the mini-map. Any questions or comments at all, Mardraco?
I mean, the main thing is, I know the aggressive push there was more for the DM.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I was kind of confused. Like I don't know where to go for the the anti-air. Today's stream was actually very much heavy on anti-air with the Kremlin.
Okay.
Because there was a post in Facebook in the Brazilian group where I posted the machine gun photo, the one that you posted.
Yeah.
And they're like, too bad you didn't kill anybody. And I'm like, well, if I can dodge, why will I need to kill?
Mm-hmm.
And they all got angry at me, and they're like, well, try doing it with Kremlin. So I'm like, okay, I'll play Kremlin all day long.
Yep.
And out of 10 matches, I think like 7 of them had CVs in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all you have to do is play differently. Pick somebody that has a better AA than you, protect them. Don't let them die because they won't let you die. And on this one, I looked at the matchmaking. I'm like, oh Lord, I don't know where to go. I don't know who has AA.
Now I'm gonna zoom in for a sec because this is your first decision point, right? Do I come around the island and kill the Des Moines, or do I sit and wait? Now the smart play is to sit and wait, right? Get your Kerr first that's on the 3 line farther forward into the cap. Let him spot the Des Moines so you know what the Des Moines is doing. Pop out then when the Des Moines isn't looking at you, and also pop out when you know where that Yamato is headed. So you decided not to. You went for the kill, which you mentioned, and that's fine.
Well, even right here, I think I did slow down right here, and then it shows the DM like crashed on the island, and I'm like, this is it. This is the opportunity. And that's when I went, okay, now I'm definitely going in.
Okay, now I want you to take a look at your position now. I'm going to play it until you kill the Des Moines. Well, obviously Kurfürst killed it, but you did bad things to it. Now I'm pausing it there because this is the other part of that engagement. Because you pushed forward to kill the Des Moines, look at where you are now. You're sticking out like a sore thumb. I mean, the FTG is there with you too, so at least there's that. But you've got a Kremlin, a Schlieffen, a Kurfürst, and a Colombo all right in front of you, and a Yamato on your side. So at this point, the smart thing to do, in my opinion, would be to move your bow 90 degrees to the starboard, right? In other words, point your bow southwest. So you can tank the Yamato shells, and you're also moving away from those 4 battleships. And that means that the probability of them shooting you is much lower because you're sailing away from them, right?
Yeah, my goal as soon as I got the DM and I saw that Yamato on my side was to push W all the way to that island right in front of me and just nose into it in the cap. But then I was worried that all this Lenin train that was gonna go, they'll have complete direct shot at me. So I had to not only get to that island to protect my right side from the Yamato, but I also needed to make sure I'm facing the Lenin train.
Well, if you are hiding away from that lemming train, you'll be okay. I mean, facing it is more ideal because of your bow, but hiding away from it is fine too. The key thing is you want to protect your citadel, right? So, if you're facing southwest, you're still pretty well angled to the other battleships that are pushing through sea, and it gives you the flexibility to turn back in on your terms, as opposed to what you end up doing. I'm going to play this now. Watch, you move in, like you said, curved in. There you turn south to face the Yamato, right? And this is where I think if you kept on turning more towards the west, I think you'd be better off. You decide now, I'm going to turn here. This is where you get whacked and lose a bunch of hit points. And then fortunately for you, this was smart. You slowed down here, which was very smart. You didn't give the Yamato an easy shot on you, and you kited away from it. Boom. I like that. Now, the thing is, you get stuck here. Had the enemy carrier been better at focusing you down, you probably would have gone down here. But he didn't. You can see he decides to drop the Kurfürst. He drops the FDG. He goes all over the place. And that gives you what you needed the most, which is time to heal back up. And fortunately for you, I'm pausing it again, you've got teammates that jumped out in front of you and took the hits for you. Very nice of those teammates. You should compliment them. And obviously, at this point, it's all over but the crying. So you pop forward here. You shoot the Schlieffen. Keep in mind, the Schlieffen's got torpedoes. You could have exposed yourself to torpedoes as well, but it's the end of the match. You're figuring, I can afford to take the hits, and you want more XP and more damage, right?
Does the torpedoes not show up on the replay? Because they did go right in front of me. I do see them. So he was facing the left side, and then he was actually trying to turn around to do the other side.
Yes.
And we killed him right when he was doing the turn.
Right. And that's the problem, is you don't know if he actually if he got the torps out or not. So you turn towards him, which is the smart thing to do because of that torpedo threat. The point I'm making is coming out of that island is risky. So you made kind of 2 risky plays coming out of islands. The first one was trying to kill the Des Moines. And then the second one was, when you went after the Schlieffen towards the end there. But yeah, like you said, there's going to be a lot of things I said, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it was a weird matchmaking. Like, this wouldn't be, like, I would never be pushing the middle like this on a regular random battle. There would be way too many things possibly going wrong. I'll be over near that Conqueror, or probably more towards the D line, D2 line.
Right. Cool.
But it was a fun little match.
Absolutely, it was.
Different.
Go ahead.
No, it was just different. That was a different match.
It's a very different match. I mean, I'd hate to have been that Des Moines. At least he found himself a way to get back to port and try taking another ship out right away instead of sitting there going, ugh. But you know, there's not a lot of cover for him on this particular map. But, you know, oh well.